Chapter 12. Into War. When Gandhi decided to fast again in May 1933, this time for his own health and happiness, the British released him from prison. They were worried that another fast would kill him, and they did not want him to die in prison. The civil disobedience campaign had started up again during Gandhi's time in prison. When he was released, Gandhi asked for a meeting with Lord Willingdon to try to bring peace back to India. But Willingdon did not want to meet. Gandhi decided to march with Kasturbai and a group of Ashramites towards the village of Ras in Kheda, where many peasants had lost their land. He was arrested with the others, but released a few days later and told to stay in Pune. When he left Pune, he was arrested again and told that he would go to prison for a year. He fasted once more and was released from prison, but this time he decided to move away from politics and work for the Harijans for the rest of the year. That year, Gandhi and his followers left the Sabarmati ashram. Gandhi was worried that the government would take the ashram, and in September he moved to Wardha near Nagpur. From there, in November, he went travelling around India once more, writing for his new weekly publication, The Harijan, and visiting and collecting money for Harijans. In August 1934, he resigned from the Congress, and at his wish, Jawaharlal Nehru became president of the party once more. Gandhi told his friends in the party that he was ready to come back and help when he was needed, and its leaders still came to him when they had to make important decisions. For example, he told the Congress that they should stop campaigning for Swaraj with civil disobedience for a time. Nehru was disappointed by this, but Gandhi told him that the fight was not over. This was just a quiet time before it began once more. In 1935, the Act of India gave the country a new constitution. The Act did not give Indians self-government, but it did promise elections in which 35 million people could vote, and these were held early in 1937. Gandhi agreed that Congress members should enter the elections because he hoped that they would be able to organize the country ready for independence. The Congress won the 1937 elections in 6 provinces, or areas, of India. But as the party took power, the Muslim League began to turn against it. The Muslim League had not done as well as it had hoped in the elections, and the leader, Jinnah, now believed that the Congress had become a party for Hindus only. Subhas Chandra Bose became president of the Congress in 1938, and Gandhi did not like his leadership because Bose wanted the Indian people to use violence against the Raj. Gandhi's ideas of peace and non-violence had become stronger with time. During the Boer War and the First World War, he had asked Indians to fight for Britain. But early in 1939, as the Second World War came close, Gandhi felt differently. On the 3rd of September, Britain went to war against Germany. Without speaking to the Congress, Lord Linlithgow, who had become Viceroy in 1936, said that India was at war too. A working committee of the Congress met in Wardha, and at this meeting it became clear that Gandhi had very different ideas from the rest of the party. Gandhi wanted Indians to help Britain in the war, but he did not want them to fight or to fight back if India was invaded. The Congress wanted India to fight for Britain, but only if she was given her independence. While Gandhi did not agree with these ideas, he was happy to speak for the Congress, and he met Lord Linlithgow several times at the end of 1939. But the Viceroy's answer was always the same. There would be changes after the war, but he could not promise independence. In June 1940, the Working Committee in Wardha went against Gandhi for the first time and decided that it could not agree with him about non-violence. On the 7th of July, the Congress made the Rajaji Agreement. If India was given complete independence, she would fight with Britain in the war. But Winston Churchill was now Prime Minister of Britain, and he had always been against Indian independence. He believed that Britain was at its best in the 19th century when the British Empire was growing. India for him kept that time alive. So, in August 1940, Linlithgow told the Congress that Britain, having controlled India for so many years, could not let her go now. He also said that Britain could not give power to an Indian government that many people in the country did not agree with. Britain had begun to listen to Jinnah and his Muslim League, who now had new ideas. Angry with the Hindu Congress, many Muslims now believed that there could never be one India. They wanted a separate country for Muslims. The Congress had been ready to fight for Britain, but they now felt completely powerless. They agreed with Gandhi to start a new, controlled civil disobedience campaign that would not give Britain too many problems while it was fighting the war. One by one, members of the Congress made speeches or wrote against the war and were arrested. By the end of 1941, nearly 25,000 people had been put in prison. In December 1941, Japan attacked American ships at Pearl Harbor. America now came into the war, fighting with Britain and her allies, who declared war on Japan. Suddenly, the war had come to Asia, and the Allies now needed India's help. President Roosevelt of the United States of America and members of the Labour Party in Churchill's wartime government asked Churchill to talk to India about independence. In March 1942, Churchill sent Sir Stafford Cripps to Delhi. Cripps brought with him some plans from the British government, and for 3 weeks he talked with India's important political leaders. Under the plans, India would become a dominion after the war, and Indians would make their own constitution and govern the country. But 1/3 of the members of the new government would be chosen by Indian princes, who were very close to Britain. This, many thought, would allow Britain to keep controlling India. Gandhi and Jinnah were also against the plans because they would allow any province to become independent. Gandhi was worried that this would divide India into Hindu India, Muslim India, and princely India. For Jinnah, the plans did not give Muslims the separate country that they wanted. Cripps' plans also asked Indians to fight if the country was invaded, but under Britain's leadership, and the Congress did not want such control. On the 12th of April, therefore, Cripps went home to Britain. The Congress, the Muslim League, and other Indian political organizations had all rejected his plans.